So here we are with the last video about matte painting for now. I mean, I will release more stuff in the next weeks, but this is the last video for this workflow. And what I'm going to do here is before going on, I'm, painting a little bit of fog on the background mountains. Actually, I'm not painting fog. I'm just, hiding them. I just painting black on the mask, which is something you can do if those objects are, the one at the bottom. Otherwise, you can even put out a layer, a brand new layer on top, and paint with a pretty bright color in the scene, or with just a gray color if you are in another scene. I mean, you can paint with the white color in the scene on top, since we have the color lookup night from day. You see, in this case, I'm painting on top, and I'm painting with slightly cyan color. The thing is, I go back time to time on the values of the scene, because maybe I feel like I need to fix them, or maybe I add some more lights, some more shadows. In this case, you see I'm masking out curve I've done before, and so I created a few spots with more light, because probably we have some light coming from the sky, and we have more light coming from the spaceship. And here I'm painting on this second level rock. I mean, you will see me going back and forth on the lighting. The important thing is to know where you should paint, where you have to paint. Like for in this case, like this area was too bright, the bottom part. So I just delete the curve, delete some brightness, adjust adjust the brightness of the foreground, and then with another contrast at the top, I darken it. I darken all the entire foreground, but not the spaceship, as you may see. I just delete the curve from the center. Another thing I can do is to make this spaceship to pop up a little bit more. Select the shape of the spaceship. I invert it and use as a mask for a new layer in screen mode or in normal mode. And you can paint some, white fog, or you see, to make this spaceship to pop up a little bit more. And the thing is, I'm not doing anything new. I'm just trying to increase the contrast, the overall contrast of the scene. You see, the foreground is darker, but then that area with the spaceship is a lot brighter, or at least this is what I'm trying to do. And contrast will allow me to, push your eyes in the right direction and force you to look what I want you to look. And this is all about that. For example, you see, I put another photo of a lens flare, and I put in perspective, lighten mode or screen mode, put a curve on it to get the right result, because it was too bright, so I darken it a little bit. This is another lens flare, and I'm trying to call your attention there as much as possible. So I'm just playing out with effects. I mean, if you don't like what you're doing, just go back and delete it, and just feel free to experiment. Okay, in any step of the process, you can experiment with shape, you can experiment with color. You see, I'm changing the values, the hue of this lens flare. I'm trying to change position of it, because maybe it's cooler in some other parts, and so, but in the end, I was right. And so that's the place for that lens flare. And this is something you can go on and on, try different photos, because maybe you see a photo, so maybe that detail will be fine in my scene, and then you try, and maybe it is, Maybe it is not. If it's not, you delete it. And in this case, I found like a photo with this like petals light, and then I select a bunch of them, put in screen mode, and I'm trying to add some design to this spaceship. I mean, this is not the goal of the video, but it's just like an example. And you can, if you want, let's say you want to create some kind of windows with some light in them, you can keep them like very like almost transparent, and then you can select the same shape of them, and in a brand new layer you put a little bit of brightness with the screen mode, and then on top, as you can see, with a color dodge layer black, and then you paint some light over and over. So it's like a 3-layer effect. You have the shape of the window, the brightness coming from the screen mode, and then you have the light itself coming from the black layer and color dodge. And then since we have built a scene with a lot of layers, but every layer is the right spot, I'm just putting some antennas and rooftop stuff on top of the spaceship, behind the spaceship, but it looks like it's on top of it, and it automatically takes the same color of the scene since we have all those adjustments on top. And I'm trying to have fun here in the design. You add elements, add details, okay? Like I found this one, I like it. It looks like we have some engines coming from, the back of the spaceship, and I just like them. And then you see the spaceship is maybe on a base, and you see this antenna, very big, very, it gives you a little bit of the scale of the scene. I really like it. I really enjoy it to work with it. And this one look like, the spaceship is is linked to this spaceport. And this is all about fun and design, and drag and dropping, images in the, in the canvas. Then I just, as a balance point, I said, okay, let me see if I can add some, place close to us in order to give an idea of the difference between where we are and, the size of the mountain where we are, and, when what we are looking at. And so I think that, okay, that's cool. It's a little bit of like a detail, but it's cool. You look at it, but it's not that strong. And you can, you still go back on the spaceship because of all those light, because of the fog. And the fog is working very well since, is, covering a little bit of those structures. I put that antenna on the right since, if you look at the image from far away, it looks like a little bit like a funnel. And so the shape of the mountains connected with the shape of that antenna. You see also these cables are like just an excuse to bring you there. And so it's just a way to say, okay, look there, please. Follow the cables with your eyes. That's it. That's really a very simple trick. And of course you have to match the brightness if you have, but in case just a curve, it's enough. And like a little bit like Canaletto, I'm just framing my focus point with lines from the top. So I just put this cables behind the first mountain. There's like something to fix about the mask, but nothing difficult. And then every time you put something on top of everything, remember to put again the color lookup in night from day mode and a curve, since the contrast could be wrong anyway. So you need to put a curve and raise up dark values, okay? And the closer you go to the camera, the closer you go to yourself, the darker you will get, the darker the object you need to create, okay? Remember to go to layer, matting the fringe if you have a white border on your images, on the images you import. And this is the same thing over and over. You see, I'm just drag and drop I'm drag and drop images on, on top. I mean, if I'm not happy with the result, I don't keep them. Okay, really, it's something I will never stop to, tell you. You have the power, you have the control on the image, so you need to be in control, and you need to tell, okay, this is not good for the image. Like, I don't know, I don't like those two lights. Now that I look at the image again, I don't like the two lights I had on the right, so I will probably delete them. And you see, I'm trying again to, build something which is, I don't know, believable. See, I'm adding details. Sometimes I don't know where something will end up, but as soon as I put it there, I know it's the right place. Okay, so you have to try. That's it. You have to try. And you see, I want to make this kind of structure a little bit more alive, I would say. So I will try to add some, lights there. But that's tricky, because you don't have to steal the attention from the focus point. So if it's something that helps to look at the focus point, or it is just like a detail, and is not really distracting you, that's fine. But if it's too strong, I will probably delete it. And you see, I just add this kind of, a bokeh effect with streaks on top, very low opacity, and then I also mask it, invert the mask so it disappear everywhere, and then I paint it all only somewhere, just to add a little bit of colors here and there. You never know what happens. I found some, you see, images of birds flying away, and I felt that was the right things to put in there. Maybe, the spaceship just turned on. There's a lot of noise in there, and so the birds get scared and they fly away. And of course, they fly away, from the spaceship, not to the spaceship. So, otherwise it doesn't really, uh, match the situation, and it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so you see, I turn off the light on the right, so there's too distracting. I don't want to look there that much. But I just painting with a black layer in color dodge, a few bits, a few pixels here and there, to add a little bit more of realism. Don't exaggerate, because even light far away becomes way less stronger than what you expect. I mean, one thing is the light in the center from the spaceship, which is very strong, but I don't think that a light bulb on that structure will be that strong. So I really, really make it subtle. And then you see, if you look at the values of the image, probably we are still missing a pretty bright value. So I'm going to paint, the brightest value of the entire scene now on the floor. And this is exactly what you need to do at the end. Okay, there's always time to paint the brightest value, and to wait till the end is the right thing to do. I was trying to do some like a red light, right? Like, I painted a red light and I like it, and then I painted over there, and I like it even more. So now I have an excuse, to look up there. Then I try with this spotlight style thing, but I didn't like it, and I prefer it to keep it on, the top. Like, I don't know if you have another spaceship on the top flying away. And anyway, that light from the top point to the spaceship, so it's another excuse for me to, allow you to look there, force you to look there, and this is it. I mean, this is the idea behind what you should do anyway. So force people to look where you want, and then away from other areas. I added a little bit of, some like black and white shapes. I found a photo of, some like ocean style stuff. and I want to keep the dark areas. If you place the image in the right place in the folders, it goes behind the fog, and it makes more sense. It's even easier to match it. Okay, so if you have a photo and you put the photo in the right place in those folders, it will be matched no matter what, since you have the all the adjustment of all the fog painted. So just find the right folder, okay, and don't do like I'm doing here. You should make like subfolder and rename them, But for me, this was a little bit difficult since I was like painting the scene for the first time, and also trying to explain you what to do. So of course I did a very poor job, I would say, on putting everything in the right folder anyway, or naming them. Please remember, you need to name stuff, and you never know. You never know. Maybe you need to open the file the next week, or someone else in the office need to open the file, and they should understand what to do, even if you're not there. Okay, so this is what I'm doing, and now again I feel like I need to paint something on the floor. But anyway, the thing is, now that I'm looking at the image again, probably I would add more contrast on that area, because the river, the water is a little bit like is lost a little bit. But, you can always improve your work looking back. Maybe not the same day you finished it, because you're used to it. But I don't know, a couple of days later, you should definitely go back and try to improve it a little bit. And then I just put a photo of a person. I made a brush, and then you can go in like scattering and increase the scattering, decrease the number of increase the spacing so you have less people, and then just with a couple of strokes you get like a crowd there. And of course I just used one photo, which is not good, is a little bit lazy, from myself. And but this is it. And you can build a crowd in no time. Okay, so this is actually the end. I just made a copy of the entire scene. I turn off the green and the blue channel from the layer styles, and I increase the size of this copy to get a little bit of a chromatic aberration. And then I just create a whole new layer with the entire image merged together. And I went for a little bit of camera raw, a little bit of clarity, a little bit of decontrast, a little bit of saturation. Nothing too fancy. And that's it. And maybe you're not happy, maybe you want to go back, and you're free to do that. Maybe you want to try to add some, I don't know, features in the image in the front. I mean, this is one of my problems. I never know when the image is finished. But you know what? Sometimes you have to say that's it. And you can compare the results, before and after, and see if you did something right at the very end. So guys, for now, this is everything. Thanks so much for following this course. See you at the webinars. Bye.